Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna review IELTS study plan and we're gonna discuss what kind of questions are gonna be there, and you have to be familiarized with the structure of the IELTS exam. So let's start from the listening part. Listening part consists of the time limit of 40 minutes and 30 minutes you're gonna have for the IELTS listening part, exactly where you're gonna have questions, and further you have 10 extra time to transfer your answers to your answer sheet. So during that 30 minutes, when you have your questions, you're gonna write down on your answer sheet or somewhere on your paper. It's up to you, or if it's a computer-based exam, you have to type it, or you could have one sheet of paper, which I had basically during my computer-based IELTS exam. So further, you're gonna have 10 minutes to check them and transfer to your answer sheet on your computer, or if it's paper-based, on your answer sheet which is given during your IELTS exam. So we're gonna discuss first of all from the listening part. So as I told you before, basically you're gonna have 40 minutes in total, 30 minutes for questions and 10 minutes to transfer your answers to your answer sheet. So listening part consists of 4 sections, and you're gonna have 10 questions for each section. So in total you're gonna have 40 questions. So section 1, it's two speakers are discussing about some social situation, and you have to reply to the parts which are missed in your answer sheet, in your question sheet, let's say. So further, you have in section 2, you have one speaker which is talking about non-academic topic, and in section 3 you have up to 4 speakers discussing some educational topic. And the last section is one speaker give a talk of some general academic topic. So this is your listening part. I can give you a very good advice based on my own experience. So when I had my first exam, I remember during listening part I missed answer to some of the questions, or some missed words which I had to fill on my answer sheet, and I started to panic because I was like so terrified that I missed answer to one question, and I just realized as I started to describe something else, which is basically my following paragraph, and I'm like, okay, I missed one score, what I'm gonna do? At that point, you don't have to panic. You could miss some question from these 40 questions. It will happen. First of all, don't panic. Focus on your following question. In case of your missed question, you can go back, since you're gonna have 10 extra minutes to transfer your answers to your answer sheet. So don't panic, just focus on following questions, and even when you are reviewing these questions, when you are trying to figure out what is the answer to your first question, don't focus to look at the following question, because you have to know what is upcoming and what you have to expect, because sometimes you don't even realize when some topic is finished and they started to discuss something else, or your answer to the following question is coming. You could miss several questions at that point. Please don't panic and be focused on not only on your upcoming question, on the following question as well, and don't miss filling the second following question. And don't panic if you miss a couple of your answers. It could happen. It's okay. At this point, don't spoil everything, and just be concentrated and just to proceed further. If even you missed even 2 questions, don't panic, just go further and try to fill all of these missed words, and be careful with task grid. If it's written there 1 or more words, 1 or 2 or not more than 3 words, don't write there like whole sentence or whatever, but you know that part for sure. But I just giving you an advice based on my own experience. So further, we go to the reading part. So what exactly you're gonna have? Again, you're gonna have 16-minute limits. You're gonna have 3 academic texts when you're gonna have your answer sheet. You will see what kind of topics you have there, and you have different kind of tasks on each text. You have to be very careful with them because it could be a diagram, it could be a chart, some missed words, not more than 3 words, not more than 1 word, and you have to be very careful on that. And even article will be considered as a word. Be careful with that when you provide your answer and it's written there no more than 2 words. You could write 3 words when you use an article. So you have to be very, very careful with that and very specific when you provide your answer in your answer sheet. So this reading task has like a lot of different type of questions, but as soon as you do some exercises and you're getting ready and what kind of questions you could expect during your exam, and don't panic, just focus on your keywords. And I have lots of videos on my channel about how to define keywords on which you have to focus. Sometimes you have to know the synonyms. If you have time, please improve your vocabulary, read more synonyms, and just be aware of them. Try to use them in reality, like when you're communicating with someone. If you don't have that kind of experience, please write down these words and learn by heart all of them, because it could be very helpful during your IELTS exam. So following is your writing task, and you're gonna have again 60 minutes in total for this task. It's gonna contain 2 parts. First is writing task 1, where you're gonna have a description of some, you're gonna have, let's say, a line graph or bar chart or pie chart or some map. You have to describe what you see there. You have to describe what kind of change had happened within some amount of time. It could be given even in your task. In your task, it's going to be given clearly what they are expecting you to do, what kind of analysis you have to do, and write down in your answer sheet. So this is for writing task. It's 20 minutes are given, and there is a limit for words, like 150 words. It will be beneficial write more words if you have more time, but not less than that amount of words. So further, you go to the second part, which is writing task 2, and they're going to provide you more time for that task. It's going to be 40 minutes, and you're going to have some you're gonna describe something, disadvantages or advantages, like problem and solution, like discuss both views, all of this kind of slightly complicated discussions compared to first part. And as I told you before, as per the reading task, I also have on my channel lots of examples on each of them, like on writing task 1 and writing task 2. Even in the writing task 2 and the writing task 1, I have some complex part where I have maps, I have some process there, some production, and in writing task 2 also have quite complicated topics to discuss, which will be very helpful for you, I hope so. So the final part is speaking part. I find it's very easier for sure, because you can talk there. Basically, you can talk about yourself, all of these kind of things. It's not that complicated, to be honest, but you have to be able to discuss in topics. And you know from all of these IELTS books that there are lots of examples how to answer, how to get ready for the speaking task. So it's gonna take about 11 to 14 minutes, and it consists of 3 parts. And your first part is your introduction part. You can introduce yourself, talk about yourself like a couple of minutes. It's gonna take like from 3 to 4 minutes. So maximum 5 minutes. And further, you're gonna have part 2 question, and they're gonna ask you some individual questions on some topics, and some minor like tasks, and on which you're gonna have like a time limit for preparation within like 1 minute. And the final part is a part 2, and it's gonna be like a 2-way discussion where you're gonna have like a 4 or 5 minutes, and your examiner is gonna ask you a couple of questions on which you have to answer, and it's gonna be some specific question to some topic, and you have to be ready to discuss and to reply to some questions, and to get ready for this kind of part of the exam. So as you guys know, speaking is not gonna be at the same day as writing, reading, and listening part. Is gonna be like within up to 7 days. It could happen that it's gonna be on the next day, or a couple of days later, or it's by the end of the week. It depends. It depends on your country, and it depends on how many people are applying for IELTS. So it depends. In my case, it took like I guess like 2 days. In 2 days I had my speaking part. So my own advices for you guys is practicing every day with different examples, and review all of these YouTube videos where people are giving their advices, how to get higher score, how to pass this IELTS exam, and just to achieve high score. And further, you have to let's say focus on each part and to understand on which part you are making some mistakes. If you need more to listen some TED, I don't know, videos, radio, or watch some more videos on YouTube where English speaking people are talking. And second, and you have to do your writing task, and when you do writing task, you have to be very careful with your handwriting, because I've heard that sometimes when examiner don't understand what is written in your writing task, they will just not give you that score which you basically had to get, because they didn't understand your handwriting. At that point, it could be better, if you're not doing a computer-based exam, it could be better to practice and to fix your handwriting and focus on that. In second part, when you're doing a writing task, when you start to write all these essays, like hundreds of them, you realize that you don't have to count one by one all of these 150 or 250 words. You could just at one side just to understand how many words approximately you wrote, and you don't have to waste your time. You have to come up to that automatic part when you don't have to count words. But if you're not sure that you have exactly 150 words, you could count during exam. But as soon as you're practicing and writing thousands of essays on daily basis, and within all of this your IELTS exam preparation, you're gonna be ready to understand from one side like how many words you wrote in your paper. So I just want to end this video with a very special person for me. It's Albert Einstein, and he said, insanity doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different result. So basically, I can apply this to my writing task, because all the time I was doing some mistakes on writing task. I didn't go to any like courses. I just didn't focus on that. I was like thinking, okay, I'm going to do it on my own. I don't need anyone to help me with that. It's going to be fine. And as soon as I went to the courses for IELTS preparation, I realized that I'm doing over and over the same mistake. And at that point, I realized, okay, I need to change my approach. I need to study some of the grammar which I forgot. And at that point, after focusing on solving my issues, first of all I realized my issues, then I come up with strategy how to fix them. In my case, I just learned some grammar and just practiced them, and after that only I was able to fix that issue with my writing task. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it's going to be very helpful for you to pass IELTS exam and to get very high score on it. And have a good day. Good luck with your IELTS exam. Bye.